Good morning, LinkedIn family. It's time for another Coffee with Bob, and today I have the very um, uh, great pleasure of speaking with Bibi Onsori. Now, Bibi and I are relatively newer connections, so we haven't had much of a chance to engage yet. But I can tell you from her post that if you're not connected with her, if you're not following her, you really need to. She's got some great stuff, and I've got some really cool questions to ask you, by the way, Bibi.
Thank you.
So she's very definitely a great person to hook up with. Remember, it only takes one connection to change a life. This may be your connection, and I have a really good feeling that BB is changing a lot of lives. So
Yes.
tell us about what you do,
Thank
BB,
you.
being the anxiety coach.
Yeah, so what I do is I'm an anxiety coach and I help professionals end their anxiety permanently.
Wow. Okay. And I can only imagine during these politically charged times and everybody being stuck in with COVID and all that other stuff too, that there's got to be a lot of anxiety going around, especially with companies that are struggling.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, anxiety is a huge struggle for people. It was for me as well. I had 10 years of really, really bad anxiety myself. Mine, for example, was around health. I had a phobia of getting cancer.
Oh wow.
So that was my anxiety was really phobia based. But for sure, yeah, right now anxiety is more based on what's going on in the world. People losing their job is triggering a lot of things. And
Mhm.
in general, anxiety, there's so much anxiety out there.
So, for a lot of people here on LinkedIn, they're business owners, they're entrepreneurs, they've got their own thing going, and maybe because of COVID and all the lockdowns that are going on, they don't have as much business as they usually have. What's a good tip that you can give to them to help at least try and deal with some of the anxiety that's going on?
Well, I think that, some anxiety that's been experienced right now is very normal because it is difficult times.
Hmm.
I think it's temporary anxiety. And so that's why when I meet people online at this time, I really ask them, I say, did you have this anxiety before COVID? And if they say no, I'm not too worried about those people. I'm not too worried also about helping them because that's, I think, a normal temporary amount of anxiety.
Hmm.
But outside of that, I think if it's something continuous that they even had anxiety before COVID and now it's even worse, I think those are the people that really need to seek help and get rid of their anxiety because it's not serving them in any way at all.
Wow. Yeah, that's true. I mean, it's got to be very tough. And now I know you do career coaching as well, right? You have a whole.
I initially started as a career coach because I was so afraid I wanted to always do anxiety coaching, but I was really scared to do anxiety coaching initially when I started my business because I was so scared my anxiety will come back. And that would be like the scariest thing for me ever,
Yeah, I can
I don't
imagine.
want to go back there, right?
Yeah.
So it's interesting and it's so funny how the universe works because then I was like, okay, outside of anxiety, what am I really good at? And I'm very good at career, and I was always very successful in my career and with interviews and everything. But it's kind of like the universe somewhat stood in my way. And no matter how I tried to tackle it, it was like, nope, nope. And I was like, and then finally, my one of my clients that I got from LinkedIn actually, she got on the phone with me about career, but everything she was saying was very anxiety based.
Oh,
So I was just like, okay, I'll take this client on. And we did so much anxiety work because she needed to get rid of her anxiety to have clarity in what to do in her career, right? Because when
mhm.
you have anxiety, you can't even imagine how much of your brain is fogged around that.
Ah,
So then, I spoke to my coach and I said, listen, I think I just really want to do anxiety coaching. Do you think my anxiety will come back? And she's like, no, Bibi, you're fine. Like your anxiety isn't coming back ever. So then I decided to really just do the anxiety coaching, go with my heart. And it's been amazing. It's been really rewarding and amazing. And listening to my gut and listening to my heart and knowing what my purpose is.
wow, that's incredible. It's amazing. And what does being an anxiety coach actually entail?
So being an anxiety coach is, I'm very particular about the people choose to work with. Obviously, if anyone is suffering out there, it is my goal to help them. It is my
Mhm.
purpose to help them. That's really all I care about, because I know what it feels like to have anxiety, and it's terrible, and no one needs to live that way. But also, the person has to be in a place that they can see the anxiety is standing in their way. Because it's interesting. A lot of people are actually afraid to give up anxiety because they have gotten so numb to it. They feel like it's actually serving them in a positive way.
Really?
So yeah, I don't usually work with people like that. You can't force people to take the
Right.
first step, right? It's
Mhm.
always up to the client to want to get help. Like, I really wanted to get help and I did everything to get better, but that was my decision. And so the people that I work with, they really have to see how it's not serving them anymore. They're tired of having it, and they can see that it's standing in their own way of being in an amazing relationship or being in a really good career, or whatever their type of anxiety is.
Wow. Yeah, so yeah, a lot of it has to come from inside, right? You have to want to change, or you have to want to get better, right?
Totally. And I always tell people, I said, I'm here showing up for you today, but the first step starts with you. I can't force you to want to get better.
Yeah.
You have to want to get better, and then I can help you.
Awesome. That's incredible. And your post, I love how your post kind of speak to that. They're so amazing that way. And I follow a lot of amazing people. And not
Thank you.
and I tell you, I've gotten a lot of inspiration from some of your posts.
Oh,
Um,
thank you so much. Yeah. And I think because when I had anxiety, I felt very alone. And I think that's really important for me to put the message out there that all these fears that people have, the fear of being judged, the fear of saying no, the fear of, what something bad happening and those kind of things, it's normal as humans to have those fears, but you don't have to live in fear. You
right.
can actually work on it, and you don't have to fear saying no anymore. You can get comfortable with saying no. And I felt very alone when I had my anxiety, because it was very hard to find it was hard to find hope out there, you
Right.
know?
Yeah. Yeah. Especially now. I mean, we have,
Yes.
you're in Canada, so I mean, you probably have a different perspective of how things are going out here in the States, right? Especially during
Yes.
politically charged times. But I know a lot of people that are very anxious over what's happening right now,
Yeah.
family members included. So, I can only imagine what your perspective is over here. And
Yeah, there is a lot going on, and people are really suffering in the anxiety they're having. But again, I think life is a series of choices, and we have choices every day to make from the minute that we wake up. And so, if you have anxiety and you see it's not helping you, or it's bothering you, like, take the first step. Just get on a call with someone, just try it out. Just try it on. Like, you don't have to go all the way, but till you don't make that choice, life's not going to get better.
right. Yeah, that's great. Bibi, thank you so much. This was super
Of
fascinating.
course, it's a pleasure.
Yeah, and I think I would like to get you on to the LinkedIn live show, and have some talks with some other people, surrounded by other people who are like-minded like you. And I think that would be an interesting discussion we could have. So
Yes, it would be. That would be a pleasure for sure. Thank you so
yeah,
much.
I mean, I don't know if you know Rachel Beck, but I think Rachel and I, and sitting down with you would be a very interesting conversation.
Oh, I'd love that. That sounds great.
Okay. Well, thank you so much again. I really appreciate you being on. You have a wonderful day up north.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on the show.
Bye bye.